We had business operations in the US and Europe. We were looking for a global expansion. Our research indicated that Middle East was a good market. We did our analysis and we were clear what we wanted to do and what solutions we wanted to offer for the Middle East. However, we were unclear in terms of how we will go about the local process in terms of connecting with the customers, business visits, and when we start the project, how we will do deployments there. This is when we met with Gohls. We were pretty excited in the first meeting to understand the kind of offerings that they had and the depth of knowledge they showcased in terms of the understanding of the local geography and how the business happens there. We came up with a model to say how this could be taken forward, and within a few weeks, we had responses back from them. We had thoughts in terms of how we could take this model further, and they even gave us some introductions to local customers there. From this point, we put together an interesting proposal, a solution to our customer, and as part of it, even at the pre-sale stage, we had support from Gohls in terms of suggesting how we should go about the costing for the people who will be deployed there, what would be the payroll structure that needs to be done, whatever regulations that need to be done, and all the costs associated with it. So we had a complete understanding, not just from a solutioning point of view, but also from an implementation point of view, right at the beginning. So basis this, we were able to take this forward really well. Now, as we continued discussing with Gohls, we came up with different models that were very useful for us. So at one side, they were helping us with process like Secondment that helped us in our sales expansion, revenue generation kind of processes. They also came up with a fantastic idea of bench loaning. We had resources who were available on bench for a period of time. In a services model, it is always a question of how much bench would you have. Now, given that we understood the bench loaning concept and how they could make our liability into asset, that's how they keep calling the bench loaning idea, and we completely agree. So it gave us the flexibility to really build a strong bench, which could be leveraged through the Gohls bench loaning process. The third interesting idea was also with regard to how we could encourage our employees. So even if we didn't have an on-site deployment concept in some of the projects, if through Gohls we were able to identify opportunities where we could deploy our people for a period of time. So it's a very interesting concept. It could also be used in terms of motivating our employees for future growth. So overall, Gohls became a very strategic partner for us, helping us in terms of sales growth, pre-sales support, with regard to deployments from a secondment point of view, with regard to leveraging our bench into revenues again, and also in terms of giving some interesting thoughts from an employee engagement perspective. So I would strongly recommend working with Gohls to any of our people in our network.